Hello and welcome to MoneyLine. This is Matt McCall. Thanks for joining today. It is Friday, September 25th, wrapping up the week. It's been a bit of a wild week here on Wall Street. We'll talk about that, but the crux of today's show, I have a Bitcoin legend that I'm interviewing. The Charlie Shrem is coming on the show. We just launched a brand new altcoin portfolio. We're going to talk to him about what he sees in the future of cryptos, what he's looking at, why we came together, and some fun stories, all coming up right now on MoneyLine.
The buck starts here. MoneyLine with Matt McCall.
Again, this is Matt McCall. Thanks for joining me. It is Friday, September 25th here in Baltimore. And coming up in just a minute, I have an interview with Charlie Shrem, one of the legends in the Bitcoin and crypto space. Buying Bitcoin when it was less than $10 a share at one of the largest exchanges in the world at one point. He's had an up and down life in it, but he's about 10 years into it now. He talks about in the interview about how 10 years in will be next year. I mean, the guy's, again, a legend. I've met with him in person, on the phone. We've done a lot of work together. We just launched a brand new altcoin portfolio called, you can find it at mytopaltcoin.com, less than $100 for the year. I mean, you get a monthly issue. You get 4 of our top altcoins right off the bat. It's a can't miss, folks. Honestly, it really is. I mean, I think we're offering it for way too much. But I want to talk about the markets real quick before we do wrap up the week. We got the markets trying to bounce here into the weekend, and just taking a look here at what's going on. We are still in the midst of that pullback that September. If you look at the numbers, historically, the last 2 weeks of September are really the worst 2 weeks of the year. So we're seeing that really play through again right now. But we are sitting on support on major indices. We're sitting on support for a lot of major stocks. To me, I see it as a great buying opportunity. We bought into a stock yesterday for some clients at my money management firm, Penn Financial Group. Might be buying some more today. Might buy some more for myself, actually. So I'm seeing some opportunities out there for sure to buy on pullbacks. So keep that in mind. Something else I want to mention, the biotech sector, as you know, I love the biotech sector. It's remaining hot again. 4 biotech IPOs coming out just today alone. PMV Pharmaceuticals, which is PMVP. That's a company that's going after precision oncology. They already have one drug candidate cleared by the FDA under the investigational new drug application, phase 1 or 2 by the end of this year. You also have Prelude Therapeutics, PRLD, small molecule therapies for cancer. They have 3 drugs in the INDA right now. They're backed by the Baker brothers. If you know anything about biotech, these guys are like the legends in biotech. You have Graybug Vision, symbol GRAY. They treat diseases, retina, optic nerve, going after wet AMD. It's in phase 2B right now. And then another one, Orphazyme, ORPH, is a symbol of that. And that's going public today. It already actually traded on the NASDAQ in Copenhagen, but it's going here. It's neurodegenerative diseases, orphan diseases, so very rare diseases that goes after. So 4 new hitting the markets today. We actually had one yesterday too, Taisha Gene Therapies. So, I mean, it's amazing you're seeing these biotechs come out. A big reason for it is I think a lot of them want to get out before the election because who knows what happens with the election as far as healthcare is concerned. I'm not too worried about it, to be honest with you, but I can see why companies kind of want to get out. The other thing I wanted to talk about was we had housing sales come out this week, and new home sales hit the highest level in 14 years in August. And I've been talking about this for a while. But while that happened, the builder's supply dropped to 3.3 months of inventory for new homes. That means as their demand for homes goes up, inventory is dropping. It means prices are going to go up. I mean, that's just telling you something that there's a big demand out there right now. When you consider what a balanced market is when it comes to housing, it's usually about 6 months. We're at 3.3. Last year in August was at 5.5. You can see how the amount of months is really dropping. The existing homes inventory is even lower at 3 months, not 3.3, but 3 months. And a number of homes under construction is only 1% higher than it was last year. So you're not seeing the amount of homes going up. Some people are saying the high lumber prices are hurting. Lumber prices, if you look at the chart of lumber, it's just interesting. Shot up and then it's pulled back about 40%, but still up for the year. Lumber prices have gone through the roof. Existing home prices, though, are up double digits from last year. Newly built home prices, though, believe it or not, are down 4%. Because a lot of the new homes that are being sold, even though we're seeing the new home sales 14-year high in August, is below 500,000. A lot of them between 200 and 300,000. That's millennials. That's new-time home buyers, first-time home buyers coming in, that are coming in just now being able to afford it with low interest rates and low mortgage rates. Mortgage rates seeing the lowest levels ever. So I'm telling you, man, you are seeing this, and it's a hot place to be. The housing stocks I continue to like. The housing ETF, ITB, is one I like, U.S. Home Construction. I have some exposure to it through my clients. Sitting right on support. Man, it looks good just off a high. I think this continues. The other big news I want to talk about here is sports gambling. Believe it or not, the Macquarie, who's a big research firm originally based in Australia, they came out and they forecast that 96% of the U.S. population will have access to legal sports gambling by 2025. That's 4.5 years from now? That is something that 3 years ago you didn't have any access to it except Las Vegas. So it's a huge booming sector. I mean, I've been talking about it for a while. We got in a little too early, but there's big news out today that William Hill, a stock we have in a portfolio here in Investment Opportunities portfolio, is up huge today. Symbol's WIMHY. It's based over in UK. Right now, it's up 43% at $16 a share. 43% today. It has two offers. One from Apollo, which is APO, which is a private equity firm, and one from Caesars Entertainment, CZR, that they're going to look into potentially doing that. But it's because there's huge upside potential in sports gambling. Charlie and I will talk about that as far as cryptos, blockchain, and gaming, how he thinks the future of that. That's coming up too. We talk about that. And the other big news is, coming out yesterday, one of the stocks, and again, Investment Opportunities, so now up about 30% in the last 2 days. This is Exact Sciences, EXAS, known for Cologuard, which is the colon cancer testing you can get through the mail. But the CEO is speaking at a liquid biopsy conference this week and talking about just how they're the future of liquid biopsy. Instead of solid state tumor biopsy, just liquid biopsy, early detection of cancer. I've been saying this for a while. I wrote about this a while ago. Liquid biopsies are going to change everything. You'll be able to get a little bit of blood drawn and know if you have any early stage cancers. And of course, if you catch cancer early, the chance of you being cured are extremely high. So that stock moving huge on it. Again, we have this in our Investment Opportunities portfolio. But I just want to let you know, what is moving out there. Our trends continue to move, whether it be liquid biopsies, whether it be genetic testing, whether it be the sports gambling, whether it be the housing markets. I'm telling you, the biotech and the IPOs, the cryptos we're about to talk about with Charlie Shrem. So it is, I got to tell you, it is looking good right now. Even though the markets pull back, there's great opportunity out there, folks, long term, and use this opportunity to buy. But without further ado, let me introduce Charlie Shrem. He also has a podcast called Untold Stories. He is an absolute legend in the crypto space. If you know anybody or anything in there, you've heard of Charlie Shrem. Great guy. We got to spend some time with him at his house down in Florida recently, up on his boat, having some drinks. And I got to tell you, other than being a legend in the industry and one of the smartest guys I've ever talked to about blockchain or crypto, above and all, he's one of the nicest people I've ever met. Truly just a good soul. So without further ado, let's talk to Charlie Shrem. And here he is, the man I just talked about, Charlie Shrem. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, what a legend, my God. I mean, and I got to tell you, there's something else about you. You wear the coolest shirts I've ever seen. Every time I see you, I like the coolest shirts.
I just ordered like 6 more today because my secret, I like Ted Baker, and they had a huge sale right now, like $50 a shirt. So, I mean, come on. Can't beat that.
I'm the same way. I do this Buck Mason shirts, and they're always they're not cheap, but they're not expensive. But every time they're on sale, I just get the same color over and over. Yeah, I wear the same damn T-shirts every day. So, all right. So, as many people know, you and I launched a new portfolio together. We have 4 altcoins in there already. It's mytopaltcoin.com. You can go to. So let's just get your kind of view right now, your big picture view on where we are. You were there from basically day one, and where we are now, basically in the big picture.
So what used to happen in crypto was you'd have this bull market, price appreciation over a few weeks, and then there would be an outflow. People would be taking profits. Traders would be hitting certain marks. They're setting their stop losses, or they're setting their take profit here. And then there'd be an outflow back into dollars. and the whole crypto market cap would almost like flatline for a few weeks, and everyone would go about their daily lives. Now what's happening with the advent of stable coins, derivatives, and distributed finance, like all these DeFi coins like Yearn Finance and etc., is there's less of an outflow back into like the traditional finance world. Rather, it's like Bitcoin, major altcoins, Ethereum flow into like DeFi coins, everything. Everyone makes money. Then when those coins cool off, it goes back into stable coins, and you'll almost see like Tether, which is supposed to just trade at $1, trade at like $1.05 because there's a premium for it. If you try to sell, if you try to buy like USDC coin, if you go to a prop desk or whatever, they'll even say like there's a demand. So like if you want to buy, I don't know, $10,000 worth of it, you got to actually send them $10,150 because there's like a premium for USDC for stablecoin. So where are we in that? It's great to see that. At the same time, a lot more people have figured out how to make money on that too.
It's interesting you mentioned that. So like Tether, for example, USDT, that's like basically a money market. So that'd be like going to Chase and putting your money in there, but paying more than $1 for $1 worth of currency. Really, it's amazing that just shows the demand for it, which is fascinating and really a good long term, in my opinion.
I'm surprised by no one realized that with ATM machines. Like if you think about it, you're going to an ATM machine, it's costing you $103 to pull out $100. But no one's really up in arms about that. It's just chalked up to a fee. But with other things like that, it's kind of crazy to think about stable coins and et cetera, that there's like such a demand for them and a supply issue.
And it's the opposite of like 2008, 2009. I remember back then the issue were the money markets that should be priced at $1 at all times, were they going to fall apart and fall below $1 for the first time ever? And a couple small ones did, but now it's the opposite. So it shows the demand for crypto versus back then. Just 12 years ago, we thought that fiat currencies were falling apart, and I still think they are falling apart.
Yeah.
But just the future of cryptos, and now they went from a potential falling apart to, bam, a premium. So huge upside. And speaking of DeFi, I asked some people on Twitter what they wanted me to ask you, and that came up a few times. So why don't you explain that a little bit to the average person out there?
The idea of DeFi, it's like the lingo of the day. It stands for distributed or decentralized finance. Things that are not fully decentralized are distributed, and eventually when they're distributed enough, we can say that they're fully decentralized, where one party can't control or take over. That's the difference between like distributed versus decentralized. But in the case of DeFi, the concept is very simple. The ability to borrow against your crypto assets. So the ability to borrow against your stable coins or borrow against your Bitcoin to invest in something else, like taking a home equity line of credit. Now, why is that? Who cares about that? Banks are doing loans all the time. But until now, the crypto industry was basically, we were just a financial P2P e-commerce, right? Like sending transaction from one person to another with this currency thing. But there was no way to do, to borrow money to get a crypto mortgage. There was no way to have your money sitting in crypto and actually earning a yield, because now other people are borrowing. You can earn a yield by lending that out. You never had these like credit and capital markets. So it's like almost like the next wave of maturity for our industry, if you kind of look at it like that. And that's what DeFi is essentially.
So basically, it's very early stages with that. And I think that's probably why we saw so much money rush into that in the last couple of months. And then they obviously came back to earth because, like anything else, when it's new, the money rushes in and then people take profits and you have this kind of volatility in the way up. How do you view a lot of the DeFi coins in general, 1, 3, 5, 10 years from now? Do you still think it is part of the future?
Yeah, a lot of the coins that are doing really well today are doing really well because of the future potential aspect of it. So you look at like Yearn Finance and Sushi Swap, and there's no reason these things should be pumping the way they are, but they are because the technology breakthrough and the excitement of the people is like accelerating that growth. So sometimes like a lot of these coins are basically just indexes of other coins, and then they're like indexes of other coins. So sometimes you have to be careful where there's too many layers, and then if one collapses, they all kind of collapse. But then there are a lot of other DeFi coins out there that we're looking at whereas the teams behind them and the people behind them are actually using the money to go out and earn the yields. So when they're offering us like 10, 13% staking yield, but the value of the coin and token is continuing to appreciate, that's where we all make a lot of money. But you have to, when there's more money to be made, there's also a lot more money to be lost. So you have to be very careful. And unfortunately, most people are chasing that yield.
Yeah, most things in life, with higher risk come higher reward. We all search for that, the perfection of, higher risk or higher reward where your risk doesn't go up, and, in lockstep. That's like the greatest thing in the world. But you mentioned something that I thought was interesting. You mentioned the teams behind some of these coins and these projects. There's 1,000 reasons why I wanted to work with you and why we launched this. But one of the most important things was your insight into the teams behind these. And a lot of these people behind it. So, a lot of people, they look at the teams, but they don't know exact person. I remember as a kid sneaking off from school and going to bet the ponies at Philadelphia Park. The old guys always told me, bet the jockey, not the horse. It's like betting on the team. So is that one big thing you look at, Charlie, the teams behind these projects?
I'm in a very fortunate position that I get to talk to 5-6 days a week. I'm interviewing the top people, CEOs, and the top companies on the show. And honestly, it used to be the show where I would go after the CEOs or the guests that I knew did something or are doing something cool. But now I'm not breaking news, but I'm talking to people and companies that I didn't realize the breadth and what they're actually doing. Just today, I spoke to a guy, Diogo, who's the founder and CEO of Anchorage, and they are the founding member of the Libra Association. And we're sitting here talking about technology and the future of DeFi, and he mentions BitTorrent. And I said, oh, I had the founder of BitTorrent on my show. And then he mentioned Square, and I said, I had the CEO of Square on my, so it's crazy to think that I have the ability to talk to all these people and I'm able to respond to that and learn, but also cut through a lot of the bullshit. For example, I spoke to someone the other day and he said, well, we're trying to do this. And I said, well, why isn't everyone doing that? And I don't want to give too much away, but there's just a lot of crap.
Yeah. And I feel like there's, you being in the who's who of this industry, there's not many people yet. There's still a very small select group of people that are actually truly understand it, that are doing the right thing for the industry, not just trying to make a quick buck. You always see these are the people that were in the mining stocks back in the 80s, then they were in the cannabis stocks, now they're in, the blockchain stocks. So it's like not those type of people, but like the actual people that are supporting this and helping this industry grow. And you get them on your show, which is awesome. That's again, a huge reason that we've partnered up to do a lot of this stuff. But, talking about some of the big things in general, a lot of people are asking about, Ethereum and just Bitcoin in general. I know, we're concentrating on the altcoins, but how do you view, the two biggest out there, Ethereum, Bitcoin? Are they still something that should be a portion of your portfolio for like the average beginning investor?
I haven't changed the percentage of Bitcoin and Ether in my own portfolio in terms of like going down. The way I look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, and really, it's kind of just those two right now. I don't really hold any Litecoin. And there are a few others that I hold, but those two at least, they're on the just buy a little bit every few weeks or every month or so, or every time the price goes down, and it's accumulating forever. I'm not looking at the short-term gains, because Bitcoin, at least Bitcoin is, and I can't say Ethereum, but Bitcoin was built to appreciate over time or go away completely. So everyone in the system is incentivized to continuing growing this thing, because if it doesn't grow, we don't get more people to understand and to use it as a financial system, then it collapses completely. But all of crypto would, and that's never going to happen. So those tokens are always great to continue growing in your portfolio, but there's a lot of money to be made in altcoins. And as we've talked about so many times, I trade altcoins to accumulate more Bitcoin.
That's fantastic, because now I feel smarter, because that's what I do. I try to buy Bitcoin every couple of weeks, or at least once a month, on the pullbacks, on the times where to me, I just use it the whole opposite of what I should think. With the times I think, what the hell am I doing? Bitcoin's not going up, it's coming down again. That's when you buy. Like the moment you start getting a little nervous, you just keep adding more. That's it, same thing with the stock market. You add on those pullbacks. Somebody
The
asked a question.
fundamentals don't change.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
is the same.
The reason you bought it a month ago or a year ago are the same reasons now. If anything, probably even more reasons why to buy it. Somebody asked on Twitter about blockchain gaming and everything coming together with gaming and cryptos. Do you look at that at all?
I think gaming. So you have gaming and DeFi are probably the top two right now, but gaming is not being talked about so much. I just talked to the other day. They don't have a token, but the CEO of CoinGaming.io, and CoinGaming is the largest crypto sports betting gaming. They own like multiple casinos in Estonia and India. They're buying casinos. They sportsbet.io, they bigcasino.io. They own all of them, and he's got 500 people working for him now. He's like, we're growing like crazy. Crypto and gaming is the perfect marriage.
Yeah.
So I'm very surprised that I'm not seeing casinos or crypto casinos launch their own governance tokens or like cash flow security type tokens, because everyone, this, the one business that I would invest in right now if you gave me the opportunity with no questions asked is a casino. I would love to be the house, but it's impossible to. It's impossible to invest in a casino. You can't. Tell me how right now how I can directly invest in like MGM or something like that. It's very difficult to do.
No, you're exactly right. And I was just reading an article this morning about sports gambling, and I like to gamble on sports illegally, but they're saying by 2025, which is what, 4.5 years off, that 96% of all the population in the U.S. will have access to legalized sports gambling, which just 3 years ago was illegal except for Las Vegas. So just showing how big this is going to be. And obviously it's been huge in the UK and Europe and around the world already, but you're seeing these companies really take off. Then you have the esports that you can loop into the universe as well. I mean, there's just so much upside here.
I forgot about esports.
Yeah, and the way that people look at things are differently. You watch sports in a different way. I mean, everybody I know is gambling on sports now. It is such a huge upside. So hopefully that's something that you and I will keep an eye on, and when we find something, we'll add it to our portfolio so our subscribers can take advantage of that as well.
I don't even look at it as gambling in sports, because if you're a lover of the team, you're investing in you're investing in why you like sports, right? Like it's the same thing as someone who buys season tickets for 10 grand to a game. What's the difference with someone who's betting on games too? At the same time, you're investing in your love for the team. So that's kind of like, I know a lot of people are going to email me now after listening to this, be like, you're encouraging gambling.
Please, I'm not. I do both, Charlie. I bought the season tickets and I gamble.
I know.
And my team sucks, so I usually lose my bets. So yeah, I'm a loser here. There's no upside for me at all, and I have a hangover after the game. It's a real downside for me. But let's see what else we're gonna talk about. Somebody asked, what's around the corner? Like what's the one big thing you really want to see, whether it be tomorrow or 10 years from now?
So Libra Association is around. They're building their token. And I can I get in that pre-sale, man? That SAF, send me that SAF. There's not going to be one. But understand this. The Libra Association is made up of founding members of non-crypto and crypto companies alike. So the Libra Association basically has unlimited funding to build out the crypto of all cryptos. And on top of that, basically have the largest social network in the world going to adopt it. And I apologized to this guy when I spoke to him the other day on my show, because I was very critical of Libra in the beginning, and I'm not so much anymore, because it's on that path of decentralization. It's becoming a real cryptocurrency, and because the people involved have taken it upon themselves to use blockchain technology now that they have this budget to solve like so many of these technical and financial problems that Satoshi wanted to solve. Because Facebook doesn't just have an unlimited budget, but they also can say like they can do whatever they want and almost like not be worried about Mark having to go in front of the Senate,
Yep.
I hate to say it, or David Marcus, because they've done it already. So I mean, that is insanely bullish for me for the whole crypto industry.
So you think that will be bigger than Bitcoin at one point?
I don't think it's going to be something that's going to really like trade or be something that's going to be considered like a Bitcoin. I think
Okay.
because at the end of the day, it's going to be like a stable coin that's going to be a supply and is going to be very finite, and the demand is very finite. Like it's a very closed loop. It's going to be almost like a gift card that uses properties of cryptocurrencies, but it's going to make people wake up to realize that crypto is the future. And everyone, in my belief, is that people will wake up and say, damn it, Facebook's using this crypto thing and I don't own any Bitcoin or Ethereum. Like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah. When do you think? I mean, because you haven't heard as much about Libra in the mainstream media as of late. Like, when do you think that this really starts to take off and get into the mainstream?
So I was the same like you. I did not hear about anything. And then when I spoke to him, he pointed me to look at their GitHub where everyone can see the technological updates every day. And there are thousands of developers working on this. So while I don't know when the day it's going to come out, it's the projects and the tokens and the companies that aren't talking are the ones that you should look at, because why are they not why are they not talking? Why are they not selling their product? Because they're building it.
Yeah, that's a great point. I love that. Yeah, so that's good. I mean, that to me is just one of those things that makes the mass adoption of cryptos when you see something like Libra, like you said, the largest social network in the world behind it, unlimited bankroll behind it. I mean, you're not going to fail when you have those two things put together. I mean, that's amazing. So tell me a little bit about your podcast too, so people can make sure they tune in for it.
So we started a show called UntitoldStories.com. Untold Stories is the show. I started it almost 2 years ago. And the idea behind the show is to just interview a lot of the people that I've talked about, and interview a lot of the old school crypto people that no one really knows about, and talk about their stories and how they shaped the world that we live in today. And I also talked to a lot of the CEOs. Like I just had CZ on the show again yesterday from France, and we talked to a lot of people. And it's a fun, educational, and entertainment show. We don't get too technical or too deep, but we tell stories and we laugh and we have a good time. So if you really want to understand what crypto is and what Bitcoin is and why it's important, and you want a nice fun show for 45 minutes twice a week, then listen or watch the show at untoldstories.com.
I would definitely check it out, obviously, because I love cryptos, but it is what you just said is the average person can listen to it and not feel like you're talking over them. Yeah, and again, it's more personal, so you hear some good stories along the way too. And it makes, you know what it does, Charlie? It makes cryptos real to a lot of people. A lot of people just think it's kind of fantasy, stuff, where it makes it real, that real people are actually doing real things and hearing real stories. And I think the more people listen to your show, the more they're going to realize, wow, this is the future. This is real. This isn't some bullshit out there that somebody's trying to sell me a get rich quick scheme. This is real. This is changing the world forever.
I forget that sometimes, that we're a community and an industry that other people don't realize how big we are, because I'll meet people on the street or whatever, and I'll talk about, oh, in the industry, or, they'll be like, what are you talking about? And understand that we have like thousands of chat rooms and hundreds of meetups and thousands around the year. And there are people that exist, work in, live in, use, spend social lives, married life, children's lives only in the crypto community and industry. Think about that for a second. We are like a self-supporting community now, where we have our own Alcoholics Anonymous group. We are our own. I'm serious. We have our own everything. We have our own banks. We have our own credit and capital markets. We have mortgages. We have our own grocery places. We have our own therapists. We have our own childcare. We have everything we need.
It's like your own damn commune.
So we are the Citadel, right? The COVID or the crypto Citadel or whatever. Well, we are a real community. It's been around for in a few months from now, I'm going to take a year and actually celebrate my decade in crypto. And I'm going to literally take a year and go on the road and travel all around the world and visit every person and every company and everyone. And I'm going to celebrate. You come with me if you want, because I'm going to be celebrating my personal 10 years of actually doing something.
Oh, I'll join you along the way at some spots.
Awesome.
The nice warm ones with drinks and the water and all that stuff.
But I want to really celebrate that, because it's such a big thing that we're here, and so yeah, I'm excited.
It's amazing. Just 10 years. You know how fast 10 years can go. I mean, but it's only 10 years in. Like, it's still such early stages. I think people forget that too sometimes. That it's 10 years. That's nothing.
we're not even past that innovator stage yet. We're not past the that level yet. I'll say this: when we stop having the ability to create these private groups or these private VIP portfolio newsletter products, when we lose that ability to do that and the ability for our members to make money on that, when we lose that, then we've hit mass, like mainstream, But until then, until everyone can make money over what we're doing and what we're talking about, I'm talking about our members, then we're still not even close to mass adoption,
Yep. And we're not. And again, check out mytopaltcoin.com. Charlie and I just launched earlier this week 4 altcoins. We'll be adding more. You get a monthly subscription. It is very inexpensive. It's less than $100. So it's something for a year to get access to Charlie's mind. I mean, my God, I'd pay 20
I didn't
times
know
that,
it was
100
actually.
times that.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I was actually telling someone double the price, and they were about to buy it. He's like, "Why'd you half the price?" And I said, "I didn't even know."
But we've got thousands of people already signed up, and we're growing this community. And you got to check us out and join it. I mean, I'm super excited about it. Between my finance background and Charlie's one of the first people ever to buy Bitcoin, one of the smartest men ever in a groundbreaking industry. We got to check it out. I mean, it's fun. And you're gonna make money along the way. That's the best part about it. So, all right, check out his podcast, untoldstories.com. And Charlie, I will talk to you very soon.
I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for listening to MoneyLine with Matt McCall. To find more information, head over to McCallMoneyWire.com. That's McCallMoneyWire.com.